Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your T.C.T here. I'm sorry if you might hear some noise in the background. We're busy getting some remodeling and some things done around the area and stuff. So you might hear a little noise. So I'm sorry about that. But I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time with this video. I'm going to get right to the point. So last week was the reveal of the PlayStation 5 and it looks fucking amazing. Like everybody's talking about it. People have been posting memes about it and stuff. I've been doing that a lot about PlayStation, for account and stuff. Just been posting a lot of stuff of what's new and everything, like a whole lot of memes and shit. But I've been more excited about the games, honestly. I've been more excited of the games than the actual console reveal. Like they revealed Ratchet and Clank, they revealed Horizon, the second one, and they revealed the Spider-Man expansion, and then they actually revealed Resident Evil 8, and I was so pumped about that. I was more pumped about that than any other freaking game because I'm a huge Resident Evil fanatic. I love Resident Evil. But a lot of things well, what they revealed on the trailer that everybody was talking about was the reveal of Chris Redfield, and even I was surprised too of how he looked on the game compared to Resident Evil 7. Now, if you played Resident Evil 7, if you finished the whole game or whatever, they revealed Chris on there, and the Chris that they showed on Resident Evil 7 looks nothing like the Chris on Resident Evil 8. In fact, this Chris that they revealed on the Resident Evil 8 trailer looks a lot like the Chris that we've known and we've played on Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil 5. So, why he looks different than the one on Resident Evil 7? Well, I'm gonna make a this is my theory about it. This is my personal opinion on it. I could be 100% wrong. I could be 100% right. But I do a whole lot of studies. I do a whole lot of researches and stuff. And this is just my theory about it. Now, when they reveal Chris Redfield on Resident Evil 7 on the end, when you beat the game, we were surprised how he looked. But we didn't really complain about it because, think about it. This is a new engine. This is a very new feel of the Resident Evil horror franchise, first person mode, new things thrown at you. In fact, one of the best Resident Evil games I've ever played, in my opinion. It was horror. I mean, it was scary. It brought back the horror elements to it. It was not only that, but it was freaking like horrendous when it comes to their gross factor. I felt claustrophobic playing it. I love games that gives me different feels of how to feel uncomfortable. And Resident Evil 7 has done that well. It does that. It did that fantastically. So when they revealed Chris Redfield to us, some people complained, but not enough for them to change the whole, design to him. But we was okay with it because we was like, you know what? New looks, new design, we'll be all right with that. So let me ask you guys this. They gave Chris a whole new look on Resident Evil 7. But then we got these remasters like Resident Evil 2 remaster, where they had Leon and they had Ada. They had Ada. Now, even though they look different, they still look very identical. They gave Leon that same little sleek look with the freaking mushroom haircut or whatever, and he still looks the exact like. They look way more designed and way more up to date with their realistic features. Same thing with Ada Wong. Ada Wong looked the same, just more up to date. Leon looks the same, just more up to date. Same thing with Claire Redfield. Claire Redfield looked freaking good on there. She looked it fantastic, and still identical. Same thing with Resident Evil 3. Jill, damn it, Jill. Come on, there we go. Jill looks different, but at the same time she looks identical. She looks recognizable. We know that's Jill. So even though they changed the looks of these characters, they still gave us a perspective of just to know that it's them. So how come on Resident Evil 7 Chris looks nothing like Chris? But at the same time we was okay with it because, like I said, new design, new features. But then when they gave us Resident Evil 8 trailer and they showed us the Chris that we all know and love, people are saying that people complain about the way how Chris looked. No. That had nothing to do with it. So this is my prediction right here. This Chris that they showed us on Resident Evil 8, that's the Chris Redfield that we've known. And if you paid attention by playing Resident Evil 6, which is one of the worst Resident Evil games that they played, but please bear with it and play Chris' story. When you recognize, when you see Chris on that story, you'll recognize that he has that same jacket, that same outfit. He got that on Resident Evil 8. And they were saying that and it takes place, Resident Evil 7 takes place right after Resident Evil 6. So Chris Redfield, the one that we known and love, all of a sudden he's been gone, and then he comes back on Resident Evil 7 as a freaking member of Umbrella, a main corporation that he freaking hates. How he was able to do that right after Resident Evil 6? It's not like the game take place 5 or 6 years later after Resident Evil 6. It took place right after Resident Evil 6, like right after Resident Evil 6 was done. So Chris was able to get all that done, and then all of a sudden he's somehow the main captain of the freaking Umbrella Corporation. That doesn't make any sense. And he changed the way he looks. So my theory is that's not Chris. That's somebody else. That's a freaking reptile inside Chris, or a demigod of angel descent. What I mean is a clone which thinks that he is Chris Redfield, or he could be a replicization that's been created by Wesker himself, because Wesker do a whole lot of weird shit, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made some clones of other people. So, because Wesker hates Chris, he has a big bona fide grudge against Chris, so he probably made a clone of Chris Redfield using his own DNA, and he decided to have that Chris be in charge of Umbrella. They didn't really explain Jake's story, Wesker's son, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna explain that on Resident Evil 8 as well. They need to explain a whole lot of unanswered questions. That's the reason why I like Resident Evil so much, because even though they end it in certain unanswered dilemmas, they give us a little bit of a satisfying factor when it comes to their closure. But that Chris on Resident Evil 7, that's not him. That's not him at all. The Chris that they showed us on the trailer, that's the Chris that we've known. That's really Chris. And the way he showed up kind of made me realize that what he did to Ethan when he shot that girl in front of Ethan, it was to let Chris know that he's been living a lie. Because the way how Resident Evil 7 ended, how they was in a helicopter with the Umbrella Corporation, now you will think, why a lot of Resident Evil games end like that? Resident Evil 3, Jill was in a helicopter. Resident Evil 5, Chris and everybody was in a helicopter. Now Resident Evil 7, all these games they end up in a fucking helicopter. But anyway, with Resident Evil 7, when they rescued freaking Ethan and his girlfriend, they was in a helicopter. But by you knowing that it's Umbrella, you think they're gonna go home? Seriously, do you think that they're fucking gonna go home? No, they're not. So they probably went to an unknown freaking area, which is what the trailer showed, another village and stuff, and things went bad and stuff. And I was getting Bloodborne vibes watching this. I was like, the environment gave me some Bloodborne vibes. So I'm sorry about the dog. I'm almost done anyway. So the real Chris shows up, rescues Ethan, but at the same time, Ethan doesn't know what the fuck is he doing. And Chris just tells him, dude, you've been living a lie, dude. You have been living a lie. This is a whole freaking experiment or whatever. The Chris that saved you is not Chris. I am the real Chris. Just like the whole Ada Wong situation. How Ada Wong was, everybody thought Ada Wong was a bad guy, was an enemy on Resident Evil 6. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't really her. It was a reptile. It was another, I keep saying reptile, but the reason I'm saying that is because it was a replicization of Ada Wong. It was a demigod of Ada Wong. Somebody that wanted to be like her just so they can have a bad image of her. That's what Chris is probably going through himself. So now you see how things are connecting. But that's all I wanted to say. That's my theory about it. Leave your comments below if you have your own beliefs to it. But like I said, I believe that Chris on Resident Evil 7 was not Chris. And to prove to you, even the DLC of the free DLC that we had that was called Not a Hero, that you get to play as Chris, why do you think they call it Not a Hero? Because that's not really him. He's not really the freaking warhead person that likes to save lives and save people. That is not, come on, man. Come on, let's be real with this right now, all right? But anyway, that's all I have to say. Please stay tuned for more of my reviews and more or more of my blogs coming your way. This is TCT, your critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.